Hello, my name is Dr. Hillel Mazansky and I specialize in medical hypnotherapy, guided visualization, nutrition, and exercise. My mantra being how to live a longer, happier, healthier life. Today's health tip is entitled Weight Loss Through Nutrition and Exercise. Unfortunately, the rate of obesity continues to rise in the United States and other parts of the Western world. Not only is it adult obesity, but is also childhood and teenage obesity, which is my passion. There are many factors which cause the obesity. It is nature and nurture. Nature, we have recently found that the obesity gene is responsible for secreting a hormone called ghrelin. Now, ghrelin affects the person in causing weight in that it increases the hunger sensation. So the more ghrelin that there is, the greater the hunger sensation and the more one eats. We've also found that to suppress the ghrelin gene, a high-protein diet works. That is nurture and nature. Nurture is how the child grows up, how the family eats every night, and the food that they eat and the lack of exercise results in the obesity. So, let's talk about nutrition. There are basically three food groups that are of importance. The one is protein, such as meat, fish, eggs, and soy. There's carbohydrates, the good and the unhealthy. The good carbohydrates are all those fruits and vegetables. The unhealthy carbohydrates are always in the center of the aisle, and they contain high fructose content, which leads to the obesity as well as the white flour. And then there are the fats, the good fats being the monounsaturated oils, such as olive oil and canola oil. And then there's the saturated fat, which is not good and not healthy, as one sees in the fat of red meat. Palm oil and coconut oil contain omega-6 fatty acids, which are unhealthy for a person. Whereas your monounsaturated oils, such as olive oil and canola oil, have the healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Now, those are the basic food groups. Under the carbohydrates are all the healthy fruits and vegetables. The darker the color, the healthier, because it means that there's a higher content of antioxidants, which in the body, rust is formed, to give it a better word, and that rust is neutralized by the antioxidants. So by having a high antioxidant diet, one is assured of not developing cancer, heart disease, stroke, etc. The eating habits also contribute to obesity, because many people do not have a breakfast. They have a cup of coffee and they're out the door, and the next time they eat is in dinner time, when they come home, and then they gorge themselves. After that, they sit and watch the TV, eating the munchies. For health, it is necessary to eat 5 meals a day. That is, breakfast should always be healthy, consisting, for argument's sake, of the whites of the eggs, a piece of whole wheat toast, a few vegetables or a small amount of fruit. The fruit that you eat is mainly the berries, because they have got what is called a low glycemic index. The glycemic index of food is the amount that each food will stimulate the blood sugar. So high glycemic foods are given the number of 100, and low glycemic foods are given a number of 20 or 30. The high glycemic foods, for argument's sake, are white potatoes and white bread. Then it is imperative to have a mid-morning snack. That can consist of some celery, some peanut butter or almond butter with half a portion of fruit. And then the lunch can consist of either fish or chicken with salad and vegetables. Mid-afternoon snack, again, is some protein, such as some protein powder, or together with 1 or 2 portions of fruit. And then dinner time, again, one has to have protein. So if you had fish in the afternoon, then chicken or soy would be good in the evening. And again, combined with a small portion of healthy fruits and vegetables. The reason why for weight loss it is imperative to eat 5 meals a day is because when one eats, the metabolism is stimulated, and that leads to weight loss. When one starves and doesn't eat correctly, the metabolism goes into shutdown, and you're unable to metabolize the fats, and then due to the hunger, when one comes home, you overeat. So it is very important, this point, to eat 5 small meals a day. But breakfast should be your main meal, because you've had an overnight fast, and then oftentimes you go to work, and if you don't eat properly, your blood sugar drops, and then you can get sort of semi-stressed out, and then you become hungry and you grab a chocolate or a candy instead of something healthy. Now, the cooking of food is also beneficial for health. The way you cook the food is broil or bake, or sauteed with a little bit of olive oil, lightly sauteed. That olive oil is good. But do not use the olive oil to fry, because it breaks down and it has toxic effects. What you can do, if you want to fry something lightly, then you'll use canola oil. Out of all the diets available in the world, they found that the Mediterranean diet, those foods that are eaten by the Mediterranean countries, which consists of fish, yogurt, fruits, vegetables, and a glass of red wine, and olive oil, of course. They use olive oil in abundance, and that has been found through medical studies to be the healthiest diet, the so-called Mediterranean diet. But be careful that you don't have too much olive oil, because it is calorie dense. Do not have deli meats, because they are high in fat, high in sodium, and are not healthy. When you barbecue, make sure that the meat is medium to rare. If there's any of that black coating on the meat, please remove it, because that has got cancer effects. And if you eat too much of barbecued food and eating the charred black area, it can have serious consequences later on. I'm not saying you should not barbecue, but if you do, make sure that the black charred area is removed for health reasons. Then we come to exercise, because it's not only a matter of decreasing input, it's a matter of increasing output. And the way one increases output is by exercise, especially cardiovascular exercise. For those who have never exercised before, we suggest that you start walking, and that's all you need. If you don't go to a gym, just start walking for about 20-25 minutes, and every 3 or 4 days increase it by 5 minutes until you're able to walk approximately an hour. After that, you begin increasing the speed so that when you return, you will be perspiring and the pulse will be racing. One always feels good when you do a strenuous cardiovascular exercise. The reason being is that the brain secretes a hormone called endorphin, and the endorphins are as the feel-good hormone. If you go to a gym, just try and increase your workouts by 5 minutes every week. And not only does one have to do cardiovascular exercise, one needs to do resistance training exercise. The resistance training exercises strengthen the muscles, and one can use weights, barbells, or these extended tabs made out of rubber, which are called resistance tabs, and that you can get in any sports store. And as you are able to do with comfort, then you go to the next level that has a higher resistance, and so on and so forth. It's especially important in females to do resistance training to prevent osteoporosis, or the softening of the disease. Now, if one adheres to the nutrition and the exercise, one will lose weight. For further information, you can go to my second website. It's gianinc.com, gianinc.com, and go to the blog section and see the nutrition blogs. There's far greater detail there. And if you so desire and put your mind to it, you will lose weight. My name is Dr. Hillel Mazansky, and I thank you for listening to this health tip.